You want to say the beginning or the end? Okay, all right. Yeah, we'll make it load. Okay, yeah, sounds good. Hello, hello. Let's give people a couple, probably a minute more to join. All right, just want to make sure that everyone's in that joined. All right, let's get this class started. So this is Always Ready business plan or business plans. Uh, this is part of our Always Ready series. With this one, I'll be completely honest with you. The goal of this one is we want you to get started on your business plan. So maybe you tried starting it maybe a couple months ago or a couple years ago. It didn't work out. Maybe you have a business plan, but you want to update it, or maybe you just never have done a business plan at all. The point of this class is we just want you to go through the first steps, because starting a business plan or starting to update a business plan is usually the hardest thing, because no one wants to update or create a 30-page business plan, which is what they turn out to be sometimes. So, yep, that's the point, is just get you started. So this is the Iowa Center for Economic Success. Our mission is to empower Iowans to succeed in their business, make money, have financial success. We do that through education, which is through classes like this. We do it through capital, which is through a loan program. So we have a loan program at the Iowa Center where we can give up to $50,000 right now at around a 6% interest rate. And then through networking. So networking can mean multiple things. So back in the day, and even now, we have in-person classes. So a lot of times it's really easy to network with other business owners that might have skills that you need, or just maybe people you're partnering with in the future. It's a great way to meet people in like the same situation that you are in. And also networking just with subject matter experts. So we have an awesome team of volunteers. They're lawyers, accountants, CPAs, realtors. So if you want to have like a direct networking connection with one of our volunteers, and they're usually pretty experts, they're experts in their area of expertise. We can definitely help you out with that. So totally understand that it's sometimes it can be pretty awkward to try to reach out to a CPA or reach out to a realtor. You don't even know what type of realtor you should reach out to if you're trying to look at a space to rent or buy. So we can definitely facilitate that connection. These volunteer connections, they're always free. You have no obligation to work with that realtor or that lawyer or that CPA. And truthfully, they should just be more educational than anything. So, for example, we have this awesome realtor. His name is Bill Wright. He's also part of our board. He likes meeting with people. Just if people want like a really baseline explanation of the the rental process for a small business, he's great for that. So that's what I kind of mean by these volunteer sessions and networking when it comes to that. The why is a really, really long paragraph, but I would just like to again like summarize it to we just want to help you succeed in your business. We think that business is a great way to grow wealth for you and your family. And we're going to do it through these three areas, right? Education, capital, and networking. So before I go on to the slide, I just want to just talk to everyone. So let's just kind of talk about who we are, why we're here, and that will help me really customize this class for you. So my name is Russell. I've been with Iowa Center since 2017. I'm part of the lending program, but I've also done client coaching and credit counseling on the side. I'm going to call out Jose Vanales because I see that he's in the room. Jose, you wanna talk about yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Russ. My name is Jose Vinales. I'm also with the IO Center. I'm the director of lending, credit and lending here at the IO Center. And, I used to do this class with Russ back in the day. So I think it is important the point of view from the lending side, from the credit side, on what a business plan is. And that's why I like to participate in this call and sometimes have some talking points and some of these different slides. So
All right, I'm going to call on people I see on the list. So feel free to unmute yourself. Just let people know who you are and then what business you're trying to start or what business type you want to start. So I understand sometimes you don't have it 100% down yet, so that's totally fine. So I see the first one on the list is Claudio. Looks like you're on an iPad.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, no worries. So what business are you trying to start up or have you started up
Yeah.
already?
Oh no, I have my daughter business. I trying to help her, and we are following your uh, different webinars. And she have
Okay.
a landscape architect, yeah, company.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, thanks for letting me
Mhm.
know that. All right, hey Jamie, you want to just unmute yourself and just kind of describe what business you're trying to start or grow?
Sure. My name is Jamie. I currently actually have a business and have attempted the business plan, but really feel like I didn't have enough like information
Okay,
how to do it like very well.
yep,
So
fair.
I'm in private practice, mental health therapist.
Okay,
And so I just really wanted some assistance, like being able to do it with fidelity and kind of have it like in my pocket in the event that I ever want to get a loan or something like that, for like a building or something. I just want to put all the pieces kind of together. I've gone through like the checklist and stuff that has been available, but I just need to do better in this area. So
gotcha. And I always recommend after this class just to reach out to us and we can get you like a one-on-one session for the business plan too, if you just want more in depth on that too. So I definitely recommend that along with this class. Yeah. All right, Lisa. Hey, Lisa. You want to unmute yourself? Just talk about the business you're trying to start or grow. All right, that's fine. You don't have to. Teresa, you want to unmute yourself and just to kind of describe the business you want to start or grow? All right, yeah, maybe there's just some issues with the microphone. So let's continue on. So thanks for letting me know for whoever unmuted themselves and talked about their business. That's awesome. It's really good to know
Hello,
what type of business is. Hello.
this is Teresa.
Hey, Teresa. Hey. Hey,
I had to
well,
figure out how to unmute it first.
oh, hey, no worries, no
Sorry.
worries. Yeah,
I'm
yeah, no worries.
Teresa, and
Yeah.
I have I'm kind of like the one right in front of me. I have a small business and have a business plan, just for future, to be able to, just in case I wanted to do a loan also.
Gotcha. Yeah, and this is yeah really good for loans in the future because yeah, pretty much every single loan is going to ask for a business plan, so it's really
Exactly.
important. Yeah,
Thank you.
awesome. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you for letting me know. Just to understand yeah why we're here and what businesses we're trying to start up. So that's perfect. Hey. Oh yeah, and Lisa, yep, I got your message. So totally understand. Totally understand. Yep, and we'll definitely go over the best practices with that. Okay, so this is what we're going to talk about today. So we're going to start out really basic. To be completely honest with you, the first couple slides are going to seem almost stupid how basic we're trying to get. But if we can't get through these slides first, then the slides later on don't really matter. Completely honest with you. So let's start with it. So again, really easy, really easy. Or maybe not, is I just want you to describe your business in a couple sentences. So I always like to just come up with an example business for this. I think in the past I've used, just trying to make it hard is difficult for me. I'm going to do a vegan pizza restaurant in Des Moines, Iowa. So in a couple sentences, I sell vegan pizzas to the vegan population of Des Moines. What sets me apart is it's totally vegan ingredients. So I described what I do. I sell vegan pizzas. Who I do it for? I do it for the vegan population. And then what sets you apart is yeah, it's 100% vegan. So a lot of pizza restaurants around here, they might have like one or two vegan pizza options, but I have a whole wide variety of vegan options for our vegan food population. So I'm definitely not a vegan, but we definitely will cater for them today. So yeah, easy, right? So the problem we're solving is, yeah, there's not a lot of pizza restaurants in Des Moines that serve 100% vegan food. So a lot of times vegans will get concerned that maybe their food is cross-contaminated. Maybe they just don't have a lot of options when it comes to types of pizzas they can have. So that's what the point of my restaurant's for. It's to give people who are that don't eat meat, don't eat dairy, options for pizza they can eat. So everyone likes pizza. So I'm just trying to kind of meet that unmet demand for a specific set of people that don't want to eat those types of foods. And just so you know, if you want to, you can, if you have like a pen and paper, you can start writing this down, or you can type it in your computer or on your iPad. So but definitely is really helpful just to start writing this down, because again, I think the main point of this is we just want you to start with it. We just want you to start on the business plan. So until you start writing stuff down or typing stuff in, you're not really starting on it. So definitely do that if you can. Okay. And again, it's pretty easy is the solution, right? So my solution is so I'm going to provide vegan pizza restaurants, right? So that's that solution. So a lot of times these three slides, they can almost seem kind of redundant. which I totally understand, but if you can just kind of separate them out, just go along with it for these three slides. So in my example, my solution is I'm gonna provide maybe 20 different types of vegan pizzas for my vegan population. Okay, let's get to the actual nitty gritty of this. So I would say the most important part of the business plan is kind of identifying your target market. Why it's important is because for not wasting your time. So if you identify the wrong target market, you're gonna be wasting your time and your money. So I get that there's free ways to market, there's stuff like that. Uh, you can market for free on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, but if your target market, if your actual target market isn't on those, or if your actual target market doesn't kind of resonate with what you're posting or what you're creating, maybe you just don't understand what a vegan is. So you create the wrong type of pizza. You don't understand that what they actually look for in terms of what they're eating. So I'm not gonna harp on this too much, but definitely understand your target market. Here's some questions you can ask yourself. Um, each customer profile for each business is going to be a little bit different. These are just some examples we came up with. You don't have to follow these. That they're not like set in stone for this is your customer profile. Every single business is going to have a little bit different type of customer profile. You're going to have different data points. So, like let's say for example, if I'm serving like vegan pizza restaurants, if I'm helping a vegan pizza restaurant, honestly, I don't care too much about the person's education, truthfully. Like I don't, at least right now, I don't think the person's education is going to really matter that much for the type of pizza I'm selling. Their job, truthfully, that's not going to matter too much for the type of pizza I'm selling. So you can definitely kind of knock some questions out if it's not really relevant to what you think your target market is, or you can add some. So after this presentation, we're going to send this slideshow out, and you can go to this link right here, and you can just start coming up with ideas for or just little bits of information for how you can try to define who your target market is. It's not something that is going to be set in stone either. So your target market can change a lot. So it might change just because you didn't understand your target market at the start. So you just might update it with better understanding of who your target market is, or you know what the characteristics of your target market might change. So I know I had a friend in 2020. He had a business where he was selling IT training to experienced IT professionals. So like the safe training and stuff like that. And that was good for about a year or two. And then eventually I think some of them figured out that, that this certificate didn't help them out too much. It wasn't really relevant because they had all these years of experience. So he eventually had to change his target market to more people that wanted to get into the IT world. So he changed his target market just because the people that were buying the courses that he was selling, their makeup changed. So your target market is definitely not set in stone. So just realize that you can definitely change it, but it is really important, I would say, on this slideshow. And why I'm talking about it so much is your target market is probably the most important part of your business plan. You definitely want to get that right because it'll save you a lot of time and money. Competition. So actually, I want to let Jose talk about competition because he does a good job of explaining this slide. If you want to go for this one, Jose.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So everything is just about the market research, right? Like, you have the solution, you have the problem, you have the solution, and then you go into that market research, and while you do that market research, it's okay, so who's my target market? And then when you get that done, it comes down to the competition. Okay, so I know who my target market is, but now who am I competing against? And I think, depending on the business that you have to look, is it local? Is it just here in the state? Is it national? What's my competition? We get a lot of clients that come to us and say, you know what, I have the perfect product, I have the perfect service, and I don't have competition. And that's not true. You always have competition. Competition is good. Competition is gonna make you be better than the other one. And competition is gonna allow you to compare yourself and and compare your services and products. So one of the things that you have to take into consideration is what is that direct competition that you have. Like for Russ's business, right, it's going to be all of those pizza restaurants that are offering vegan solutions. And not only that, it's going to be, I would say the direct, it will be any restaurant that is offering vegan solutions. It doesn't have to be pizza per se. It's just that vegan solution because it's such a niche market. What he's picking at this point, that 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 that's how he's going to overcome this problem. He's going to overcome this problem with the solution of having a good competition. And then the indirect competition is going to be like, hey, you know what? I can go to the grocery store and I can buy the products and make my own. So that's very indirect. So you have to do that market research. In the case of of two of you that already have their business, I would look at competition and kind of drop it out, who your competitors are and how you're different than them. And that's how you're going to bring more revenue based on your competition. Because that's going to be important for that lending institution to see like, hey, these people have done the research on the competition, and I think they have a good chance of bringing more revenue than the other ones. That's some of the things that we want to see from the lending side, that you have done your research. And you know, there is a link down there that talks about competition through LinkedIn, but don't be afraid to have competition. Don't be afraid to call your competitors. Don't be afraid to partner with your competitors. Sometimes it's good to partner with your competitors too, um, if you are in the same neighborhood, or you can talk about strategies. So next.
That's good. That's good. I just want to add one thing to it. So yeah, so I'll be honest with you, like from the loan side of things, that's one of the first things that we're gonna be looking at is, does this person understand their competition? If you give a person a business plan and like you're missing obvious competitors, it's not going to look good. Another example is from like the other side of things, right? So I had a friend, he spent weeks and weeks and weeks and months and months and months creating an awesome business plan, an awesome prototype for grant funding for a drone business he had. And when he went up to basically the committee that was going to grant him the funds, it was obvious that he didn't understand that there were already competitors in the market that was doing exactly what he was doing, and that like instantly discredited him. So again, not to scare you, but like not understanding your competition when maybe the person that's looking at the loan or the person that's looking at the grant does know, like it's just not going to look good. It's going to make you look kind of amateurish. Again, not to be mean or anything, but like that. But it's definitely something to be wary of, is that you really got to understand the competition out there who does the same things that you do. So super, super important. Super, super important. All right, yeah, Jose, we're going to the next slide. Okay. Let me talk about sales channels. So this is basically, we're just trying to say, you have this product, you have this service. How are people going to reach out to you, right? So are you going to be a home-based web business? Are you going to have a brick and mortar? You have a food truck? We can talk about that. So are you going to do co-working space? So again, start writing down like, hey, where are people going to buy? Where are people going to meet me for my product or my service? So for my vegan pizza restaurant, I'd probably put down that I'm going to have a brick and mortar. So I'm going to have a storefront, and then also I'm going to have a website so people can order pizza online. So a lot of people don't like leaving the house for food. I totally get that. So I want a website where people can order food from me. I want to go on DoorDash, so people, if they're on DoorDash, they can find my restaurants on DoorDash. So I'm gonna have my storefront people can go into. I'm gonna have my website, and I'm gonna have DoorDash. Those are gonna be my three points of contact for customers. For different businesses, it can be completely different too. So, and then next, how I'm gonna collect payments. So, this is pretty big. So, obviously there's benefits of only collecting cash, but most people pay with cards, right? So, yeah, start figuring out what cards are you going to collect, what point of sale system are you going to use, what accounting system are you going to use. We'll talk about accounting later, but basically just how can people pay you, right? So, sure, do you want to deal with cash, right? So cash is a whole nother accounting mess. It definitely is a lot easier if people just pay you through like a point of sale system or through Stripe or Square, because it's all there in a nice friendly format. If they pay you in cash, it's definitely hard to account for that. So just figuring out a system, if you want to be paid in cash, how are you going to accept that? I'm just going to combine virtual options and card together, and then check. That's a personal choice. So that depends on the business. Honestly, for my restaurant, I'm not going to accept checks. But maybe if I was doing more like high dollar deals, like maybe I was, example, maybe repairing parking lots, right? So I'm not going to repair too many parking lots during the year. I might only have maybe like 10 or 20 sales. And yeah, a lot of times the businesses I'm dealing with are going to want payment in check. So in that case, sure. Yeah, I'll accept check from that business. I'm not going to have too many checks. I might have maybe like 10 or 20 checks a year. And yep, just have backup options in case that check bounces. But again, it depends on your target market, how your target market wants to pay. So, and then accounting, right? So the least fun part of being a business owner is you better keep track of your finances. So, are you going to track all your accounting on an Excel spreadsheet? I'm not even going to go over trying to track it in your head. So are you going to try to track it in Excel or Google Sheets on like a example template of maybe a profit and loss or something like that? Are you going to use QuickBooks? QuickBooks is awesome. Or you use FreshBooks just to give you an alternative, because I don't want to shill just for QuickBooks. Are you going to pay a third-party accountant to do your accounting for you, or a bookkeeper to do your bookkeeping for you, or maybe down the line are you gonna hire an accountant, right? So the biggest issue we always see with businesses, and I'm the same case too, is accounting isn't fun, but it's really, really, really important. You're not gonna get loans, you're not gonna get grants. Sometimes you're not going to get contracts if you don't have a good accounting system. So a lot of those government contracts, they're going to want to see profit and losses and stuff like that. So if you're dealing with the government, you're definitely going to need a government. You're definitely going to need a profit and loss. If you want to get a loan, you're definitely going to need a profit and loss. If you're going to get grants, a lot of times they're going to want financial statements. So you're pretty much cut off from all those if you don't have an accounting system in place. And then finally, it's going to affect you during tax season. So I get that accounting takes a while. Takes your time, it takes your money, but you're going to pay anyways during tax season, right? So either during tax season, you're going to have like a horrible day where you're trying to figure out your bookkeeping, or you're going to pay some CPA or some accountant a way higher price than you usually would to do your bookkeeping for you and then do your taxes for you. So I would definitely recommend having an accounting system in place to do it. If you want to reach out to us, we can maybe give you tips on what type of accounting system will work best for your business, give you the most value for what you're trying to do. So, but yeah, it's tax season. I've dealt with a lot of people in the past, probably 2 months, that have had really, really bad accounting systems. And tax season is a really, really bad time for them because they're just so disorganized. They don't have the data they need to be able to do their taxes, or they don't have the data they need to correct have the correct amount of deductions, so they aren't able to claim all the deductions they're able to claim, and they pay more in taxes. And no one likes paying more in taxes because that's money out of your pocket. All right, Jose, you want to explain marketing activities?
Yeah, you give me the ones that I know. No, I'm kidding. Uh, so one of the things like it's just reaching to your customers, like to your customer and clients, the marketing, you know, you gotta ask yourself some questions because marketing is everything now these days. And the main question as a business owner, we see a lot of business owner here at the Iowa Center is like, how much money can I spend on marketing? Like what are those marketing activities that I can do for free that are gonna reach my audience, right? And if you have a budget for that, how much money I'm gonna spend on this? Um, I think, it is important to know a little bit about it because as small business owner, you're going to be doing it maybe at the beginning, but what is going to happen if I hire someone? What are those things that they're going to be doing? I'm myself a small business owner, and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't have time for marketing. And as a business owner, you might not have time for marketing, but you have to find the time to do it. And if it's money that you're going to spend, is how much. If it's time that you're going to spend, is how much. So what are the activities that I'm going to do? So social media is really good at marketing right now, especially if you have a product or service. Um, there's many platforms, one of the things that, if you have a product, TikTok is one of the ones that is selling the most, and I like to say that because I don't use TikTok, but it's one of the platforms that is selling a lot. So what are the things that I need to know to be able to market my business on those platforms? The most important is going to be word of mouth, but word of mouth is going to come from your previous client, from people that know about you, from people that have received your service, from people that have bought your product. So word of mouth is great. And with the word of mouth, we talk about a lot about reviews. And reviews are very important now these days. Who doesn't buy without reading the reviews? Who doesn't go to a restaurant without reading the reviews? So if you have a business that people can leave reviews, tell your clients to leave you a review. Tell your clients about, what was your experience with this product that I make or with the service that I'm providing you. And then, depending on the business, events. It's all about networking, it's all about connection. So depending on the business, if you have a business that can do a pop-up, make sure that you go to an event. There's more people that you're gonna reach. If it's a business that you cannot do a pop-up event like a restaurant or if you're making t-shirts, but you can go to make connections as a professional. Go to those events. We were just at the Black and Brown Business here, Business Summit, Black and Brown Business Summit here last week, and you see a lot of small businesses over there just trying to make connections, just trying to learn from each other, and that's gonna bring you more business. And then one of the most important now this day is just having a good website. If you don't have a good website, it leaves it open for the credibility. You know, a lot of people right now are going to the business's website, and it's not like having a Facebook page. It's a website that you can go and you can learn about the business. I think that credibility now this day is so important because we have all this technology. Um, yeah, what's the next one, Russ? Let's see. Marketing is a hard one though. Like marketing is a hard one. If you don't know how to do it, make sure that you're reaching out to the people that know. And a good thing is that here at the Iowa Center, we have the marketing class as well, and you can always reach out to us if you have questions on marketing. But develop a plan for it and develop a budget for it, money wise, and also the time that you're going to spend on it. You want me to talk about revenue for us? Okay. So then we get into, the most important to the lenders, right? How much money am I gonna make? How much money is the business making? How much money is the business going to make? This is great because within the business plan, the way that I like to see it within the business plan as a lender is separate from the business plan. You can give me a write-up of these are my products, here's the breakdown, here's my margin. That's awesome. But then on the other side, it's just creating a P&L. If you've been in business, just providing the financials like profit and loss and your cash flow and also your balance sheet for for the previous year or for the previous month, and then creating those projections. Because if you're going to a lender, right, to ask for money, it's because you're either doing a new project or you're paying off some stuff. So you gotta show that lender what the new project is going to bring to your business, how much money that project is gonna bring, how much revenue. So one of the things that we talked on the Always Ready Financial is revenue streams. I think it is important to break it down depending on the revenue streams that you have. Depending on the clients that you have, like if I see it as a restaurant, you can even break it down lunch and dinner. You can break it down on food and drinks. If you sell alcoholic drinks, you can break it down in different events that you might have. But knowing about your revenue streams, it tells you how much then you need to use on the expense side. And honestly, I like to do the expenses side before I do the revenue, just to know how much I really need to make to be sustainable, even to break even. With new businesses, we start up. I like using the expenses first, just as an eye opener of, hey, you know what? This is not the right thing, or I need to change my strategy on everything that I went through on my market research to be able to make more money because I'm not gonna make it. Or it's an eye opener. It's like, oh my God, I can charge a little bit more on my product, on my services, because like I need to make more money, or I can charge less because I'm making too much money. Just I think it's good to know that. And then how we break down expenses is, fixed and variable. You have just fixed expenses that, it's your rent, things like your rent, that's going to be fixed. On the variable side, it's just how much product are you going to be buying in a monthly base, depending on what you're going to sell, like your utilities might be variable as well. And then the direct and indirect, I'll let Russ talk about the direct expenses and indirect expenses.
Yeah. Just before we go into that, so the last two slides, what I would say for this is, yes, the end goal is this should turn into a profit and loss, so revenue minus expenses. But at least right now, just like have like specific categories for revenue, just write it down like, hey, these are my income streams. Like for my example, like maybe I'll estimate that I'll sell like $6,000 of drinks every single month, and maybe like $30,000 worth of pizzas every month, right? And then expenses, same thing. So if I'm selling like $30,000 worth of pizzas, maybe it costs me like half, like the cost to produce the pizza is half my selling price. So that means at least for the products that directly go into the pizza, the variable cost for those would be $15,000. Which if we want to go into more like just terms about expenses, those would be direct expenses, right? So indirect is it's just a term, right? It's just a way to categorize expenses, just like fixed and variable is. So fixed again is like expenses that don't change every month. Variable are expenses that do change, they're variable, right? Direct are literally directly related to your product or service. So for pizza, it's really, really easy. So it's like the dough, it's the cheese, it's the fake cheese, it's the fake meat, it's the sauce, right? Those are directly going into the pizza. Whereas indirect are stuff like accounting, like good accounting systems don't make good pizza, right? So they're indirect. They're not really, I don't input accounting into my pizza or into my service, right? So again, like you don't, it's okay if you don't remember like direct versus indirect. It's just sometimes you'll hear people talk about it, right? So direct goes directly into the product or service. Indirect is still an expense, but it's not like directly related to that product or service. So with this, I get that you can't tell the future, right? It's really, really hard to tell the future when it comes to revenue and expenses. Expenses, you might be able to get a better guess, like you probably get a pretty good idea through the process of how much maybe the rent on a location that you're really interested is going to be. You can get those numbers pretty easily. You can get a pretty good guesstimate on what your phone bill is going to be, what your internet bill is going to be, right? So you can definitely get a lot of these expenses. You can start getting like a good estimate on how much expenses you're going to have every month, just to start figuring out like how much of my product or my service do I have to sell to cover those expenses, or if you want to hear another term, break even, right? So how much of my product or my service do I have to sell to basically cover my costs? Another
Yeah,
big thing
yeah,
is
yeah. While you talk about, knowing about like what the expenses are going to be in the future, or even the revenue what's going to be in the future, that's something that we as lender, we know about industries, so we have a good understanding of your projections. So that's why it's good to do a good research if you're a startup. But if you are not a startup and been in business, use the trends, use your historicals, because historicals are going to give you a good understanding of what this new project is going to bring in. Because just like it's going to bring revenue, it's going to bring more expenses, because you might have to hire a new employee, you might have to, buy new equipment or move to a different location. So use those trends. And one of the things that I like about this, I like trends a lot. It is that it tells you about your business. It tells you which are the months that are really good for you, which are the seasons that are really good for you, and also the seasons that are not as good for you. And that's how you prepare yourself to be able to overcome those those um those seasons. Um, Important. I know some of you talked about line of credit. I think that one of you mentioned line of credit. That's one of the things that you have to plan for, right? Like if you go, always try to borrow money when you can borrow money, where your financials look good, and have that line of credit for cash flow, um, even if you're not gonna use it. But think like a farmer, right? Like during the winter, they're using that line of credit. Winter, spring, it comes the fall, they cash, they pay all that line of credit and go on and go on. So it seems easy, but you just have to pay attention to your numbers.
okay, another one. Sorry to add on to this, but okay. So uh, we heard most of the presentation so far. So the number one thing I hear people always say to me is, Russell, I totally understand all this, but I don't know how to get the data for this. Like, I'm a brand new business. This business has never been in Des Moines. I don't know anyone that does this business. How do I get the data for this? A year ago, I would have told you, hey, we're gonna have to do a bunch of research on the internet. It's gonna take dozens and dozens of hours, and you can still go down that route if you want to. But luckily, over the past year, we've spent honestly a lot of money into getting different databases for different industries. So we pay a lot of money for basically a industry database where we can get you really detailed reports on your industry and your type of business. So just reach out to us for that data, because I understand that a lot of what the business plan is, and to make it look more credible, is to have like good evidence for why you chose what you chose for expenses, revenue, marketing, all these sort of things. So reach out to us for those industry reports. And then another thing is AI is changing the game too. So definitely, I understand you shouldn't just like type in ChatGPT like what are my expenses, because ChatGPT and all these other AIs can kind of hallucinate. But there is one good thing. I'll just shout out a product right now. So Google Gemini, they have a 30-day free trial, and you can use their deep research. So basically, it's basically like your own personal research assistant. So you can start after this class, you can start typing in your questions to deep research, and then literally that personal AI assistant will research hundreds and hundreds of sites for you and basically come up with really concise and really detailed research reports for you to help you answer the questions and get you the evidence that you need to get. Obviously, with all AI, I would still double check its work. It can still kind of hallucinate stuff, but at least with that deep research and those research reports, it's going to cite every single thing it has. So you can double check its work by checking the websites that it's citing in its reports. So I think our industry data database is awesome. And I also think like Google Gemini's deep research is also amazing for getting that data you need to get to make your business plan the best and like most evidence-based business plan you have. Alrighty, let's go on to the next one. Next slide. Okay, the next ones are really, really easy. I'm gonna kind of fly through them. So milestones are just goals, right? So it's really, really easy to do this and then just not continue, right? So with this, I know it's kind of corny, but I literally want you to write down like, hey, how long is it gonna take you to complete this business plan? How long is it gonna take you to complete your next business goal? Like set goals for yourself. So that's what we want you to do. Just basically just set goals to make sure that you're keeping on track. So
And also
again,
the goals that you already have met, put it in there. Like I started as a caterer, and now I've been 2 years in the business, like the chronologic of your business, how your business has changed. It is important. It gives good story. But then what are my future goals? These should all be changing, Part of the body of your business plan should always be changing, but your mission should always stay the same.
but yeah, this is more just to make sure you stay on track, right? We don't want you to start a business plan and then come back 2 years later in the same spot. Okay, cool. We're gonna fly through these next two slides, I'll be honest with you. But just a quick little section on your business plan, and especially for new businesses, this doesn't have to be like that detailed. I'll be completely honest with you, just because it's gonna change a lot. But just figure out all the tasks that you need to do for your business. And I'm gonna go between these two slides. Figure out all the tasks you need to do for your business, and then you're gonna figure out who's gonna do them. So for brand new businesses, like you don't have millionaire parents or you're a millionaire yourself, you're gonna be doing a lot of these tasks yourself, right? Some of them you can't do yourself. So unless you're like you're a lawyer or a realtor, you probably shouldn't do them yourself. So, but regardless, list out all the tasks you need to do to accomplish your goals, to operate your business, and then start assigning them to people. So that's also a big part of running a small business is you can't do them yourself. You can't do everything yourself. I know I said you should, but and at the end, if you really want to grow and scale your business, you can't do everything yourself. So start figuring out, hey, which stuff am I going to do? Which stuff as soon as possible am I going to have someone do? Which stuff am I going to have people do for me right away? Like draft legal documents. You probably shouldn't draft legal documents. I'll be honest with you. Or just 100% go into a lease yourself without having anyone review that lease. So that's what this is basically, is just figuring out what needs to be done and who's going to do it. So you can break it down into you're going to do it, your business partners are going to do it, your employees are going to do it. And if those can't do it, then it's probably going to be contractors. It might be a partner, like a lawyer. This also could just be like, hey, for my pizza restaurant, where am I gonna get my flour from? So listing out where I'm gonna source that flour, right? So this is again, you can split it up into two, but I would just split it up into tasks. You need to run your business, then who's gonna do them, who you're gonna reach out to do them, and then finally, if you can, list out, if you want to go really in depth on it, just list out the stuff that you're going to hand off to someone else when you get the chance. So accounting is one of those things I just said are really important, but eventually as a business owner, you shouldn't be doing accounting yourself. So it's just way too time intensive. So that's an example. That's an example. All right. So resources. So I gotta fly through this too, just because of the time. I'm sorry, me and Jose rambled a little bit too long on certain slides. But one-on-one coaching, I think that's the coolest thing that we have at the Iowa Center. So it's always free. We can talk about anything business related to your business. So again, this is just a quick little overview of the business plan. If you want to go more in depth on the business plan, if you want to use our live plan, which is a business plan basically builder, you can come to us and work on that business plan with us through that. If you want us to review your business plan, we can review it that way. Or if you just want a quick 1 hour or 30-minute session just to kind of work on your business plan with us, you can do it that way too. So I would definitely suggest completing like these sections first before you come to the business plan session, so we don't talk about generic stuff right away. But the one-on-one business plan, sorry, the one-on-one coaching is definitely, I think, one of the coolest things at the Iowa Center, just because you can get such in-depth help on what you're doing with that. And then education. So we got Always Ready Business Plan, which is about business plans, right? We have financials, which is if you want to go more into financials, you can do it that way. We have Always Ready Marketing. So again, marketing is really important because you probably need to market to get sales. So most businesses need to market to get sales. And if you don't get sales, you don't make money, then you're not gonna be in business much longer. So it's really important. And then financing. So we totally understand that some businesses need financing to grow or to even start. So we have a loan program. And then if our loan program doesn't work out for you, we have connections with other loan programs. Maybe you need more than we can offer. And we also have, we do have a grant list if you want it. We definitely do have a grant list. Finally is tax preparation. So if you make less than $67,000 and you're really not in business, or you have a really simple business, you can get your taxes done for free year round. If you have a more complicated business, like you're claiming a loss or you're claiming depreciation, we do have a small business tax preparer. It is really competitive pricing. We get he basically gets subsidized through one of our funders, so he's able to offer really competitive rates when it comes to business tax preparation. And then there's always additional resources, right? So the SBA has different resources you can reach out to. There's SBDCs, which are small business development centers. There's other WBCs. The SBA has their own counselors you can reach out to if you need help with government contracting. They have their own wing for that. So I understand that government contracting can be really complicated. So you definitely should reach out to them for that. There's the IEDA. They have the Targeted Small Business Program, which is a great program if you qualify for it. Just kind of put your business in a more unique group of people. There's Iowa Source Link, which is a great resource just for business information in general. And then licensing is really annoying. There's tons of licensing out there. Your business might not need licensing, or it might need like 50 different sets of licensing, right? So if you're afraid about licensing in any way, you can reach out to the Business License Information Center. Okay, the next steps is we're gonna send you a follow-up email. That's gonna have this PowerPoint on it. But I would definitely suggest if you haven't reached out to us for one-on-one coaching yet, I would definitely do that because again, I think that's one of the coolest things of the Iowa Center. So if you have already, I'm sure you talked to probably Jen or Sammy, just reach out to them again and say, hey, I want more coaching. Do it that way. Or if you haven't reached out to us for one-on-one coaching, maybe this is your first interaction with Iowa Center. Go to our website, theiowacenter.org, and click schedule a meeting, and then you'll get basically connected with our business coaches that way. But yeah, just keep working on the business plan. Don't make this the last time that you work on your business plan. Does anyone have any questions? No, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, sorry. We usually get done a little bit sooner than that, but we just ramble on about a couple things, so hope you don't mind. But yep, if no one has any questions, I'm gonna end the meeting. But yep, definitely reach out to the iowacenter.org and reach out to our coaches if you haven't already, because we can definitely help you out with this business plan.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
I agree with that. We can help you out. You know, the business plan is not easy. Just get done as much as you can. We're here to answer your questions, you know. It's not gonna be perfect. And don't strive for it to be perfect. Just try to get it done. That's all I say. Just get it done. Put some work into it. And then we'll revise it and make it really good for the purpose of it.
Yeah, don't make the lender the first person that sees your business plan. You can definitely reach out to coach first, or the grant maker, or something like that. All righty. If that's it, I'm gonna end the meeting. Have a good day.